Hi, this is Dr. Bliss. And today we're going to be going through the 24th chapter of Luke, verses 1 through 12. It's the 11th lesson in our series on Gospel Survey. Today we're going to be comparing the two commentaries that we have been going through throughout the Gospel of Luke. And we're going to compare and contrast these two commentaries and develop that contrast and look at the issue of critical analysis as a hermeneutical technique. And you remember what it is to have a hermeneutical technique because we've discussed that in the last class. Basically, we have two different traditions as we have been going through this process of commentaries. We have a pre-critical tradition, which is coming from the early reformers in the 1500s, the 16th century. And we have a modern hermeneutical critique, modern hermeneutical tradition, which is called critical analysis. And that critical analysis uses different methodologies to critically examine the text. Both of these commentaries that we've been working with are canonical, and we've discussed the term canonical before. They work within the construct that all scripture has been inspired by God for the correcting of doctrine. So they both are working within that canonical tradition. Now, the first set we have are the Reformed scriptures. And in that, we find that they're asking once again, as we've seen in the earlier passages, doctrinal questions. In this case, they're asking doctrinal questions about women, because in a very stark way, this passage addresses women, and the men seem to be kind of on the outside of what's actually going on, what's actually happening. And so the reformers coming out of the Catholic Church needed to establish their own doctrine, and they were looking at the scriptures to do so. So there's a particularly concerned issue here about the role that women play in ministry. And the important point here in reading these Reformed exegetical treatments of the text is that there was a purpose that they were reading the text for. They were trying to answer a set of questions. The commentators were coming out of the Catholic Church and were trying to determine doctrine. The critical approach, the other set of scriptures that you'll be examining, asks us to look at the text and to analyze the text within the context of the text. So we're considered that in the critical tradition, most scholars acknowledge that Luke had access to Mark's gospel, and there's reasons for that we've already addressed in the study of the issue of the text that's called Q. And that storyline is somewhat different between Luke and Mark, because Luke is asking a different set of questions of the story and supplying some additional evidence in regards to that. Luke is coming at the text as a Greek historian. He says that in the very beginning, as we've already addressed. And so he's trying to lay forth a case as a historian would. And the case is based on the question of Christ's innocence. And innocence needs to be developed in this PowerPoint presentation. We'll go over that critical analysis of what does innocence mean. But you see this within the context of Luke's writings, and the critical commentary makes that clear. Now, according to Herodotus, the founder of history, the way you do good history is you go over the facts in detailed precision, and you try to determine guilt or innocence. And that was a practice that was used to manage the Greek city-states. And you would have a historical account, and then you would make a judgment. So that's the tradition that Luke is operating in here. Now, moving forward, having compared these two styles of commentary, there will be a PowerPoint presentation. They'll address a further analysis we'll address a further take on critical analysis, and we'll be leaving the Gospels and moving into the book of Acts. So I hope you're enjoying this section. I hope you're getting properly trained, and I hope you enjoy the PowerPoint that's now going to proceed.